73-point deficit is a new NBA record, and even worse for Oklahoma City. That was without Ja Morant. Memphis used 12 players, and 9 of them reached double figures in scoring.
And there's another steal. All right, here's going to be your record.
They got a defensive chant with the Grizzlies up to this point. You think these fans aren't enjoying themselves?
At the start of every season, there's always a bunch of teams that come out and surprise everybody. However, most of these teams have flamed out as the season progressed. That's been the complete opposite case with the Grizzlies, who had an average start to their season going a modest 10-10. As of this video, they've won 18 of their last 22 games, and are now firmly a top 4 Western Conference team, even setting an NBA record along the way, a 73-point victory, the most in NBA history. The crazy part is, their streak started when their best player, Ja Morant, was out with a knee injury. Though when he came back, the Grizzlies continued their rampage. What changed from last year? Is it just natural development of their young guys? A different game plan from their coach? How's it going, folks? My name's Andy, and today let's break down the astonishing success of the Memphis Grizzlies. Jonas Valanciunas for Steven Adams. There was this trade that happened over the offseason that didn't garner much attention because, well, it's the Grizzlies. They don't get much media coverage. When this deal happened, from what I've seen, a lot of Grizzlies fans weren't too happy about it. Valanciunas just had a phenomenal season, his best year ever actually, with career highs in points, rebounds, and efficiency. A naturally gifted scorer in the block is what the Grizzlies were missing since Zach Randolph's departure. Plus, theoretically, he complemented Jaren Jackson quite well, as their skill sets contrast one another. But is he really what they needed? Let's take a look at Steven Adams, whose impact is often not seen on the box score. In the first 7 games after Ja Morant went down with injury, that's when Adams' impact was most felt. In an article by Nakias Duncan, the Grizzlies haven't just improved, they've completely flipped the script. Their 93.9 defensive rating and an absurd 80 points allowed per 100 half-court plays per cleaning the glass leads the NBA by a wide margin. So I did a quick search on pbpstats.com to see the on-off numbers for Adams throughout the entire season. When he's on the court, his team is nearly 8 points per game better, and the opposing team shoots 4% worse on their 2-point attempts at 49.6. For comparison, in the previous year, Jonas Valanciunas only had a plus 3.18 net rating, and opponents shot nearly 54% from 2 when he was on the floor. That's a stark difference, and of course, there's other ways to measure impact as well, but essentially, Steven's defense is more valuable than whatever offensive production Jonas provided. Was it nice to have somebody you can throw the ball down to in the block? Sure, every team would love that. But for the Grizzlies, they've already transitioned into a perimeter-dominant team. Their best players are all guards and wing players, who need space and prefer to run pick and rolls, so they don't need additional scoring down low. They always needed a guy like Adams who can catch lobs and support his team in other ways. For example, Adams is also 6th in the league in screen assists per game. Even crazier, he's doing all this while playing just 26 minutes a game. His teammate Desmond Bane commented, "He's a huge body and he loves to screen. It's my first time playing with a big man that loves to screen, and he's good at screening. That's a guard's dream." It's also partly why Morant is having a career season shooting threes. His pull-up game has been ridiculous, thanks to Adams giving him so much space with his solid picks. Additionally, Adams' passing has been a pleasant surprise. He's perfected his dribble handoffs and swing passes as the months went by. Honestly, he's turning into a Marc Gasol light. Natural development. You know what I love to see? When a team rebuilds from scratch and becomes a contender purely through developing their young guys. If you look at their roster compared to last year, there aren't many changes in terms of personnel. Their core players are still the same, they simply got better. In particular, Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, and Dillon Brooks. Desmond Bane especially, he showed flashes of being a sniper off the bench in his rookie year, but now he's legitimately a top 5 3-point shooter in the league. His percentage and volume are both ridiculously high. Here's a cool stat. Desmond Bane is the 6th player in NBA history to make 200 plus 3-pointers and shoot 40% plus from 3-point range in his first 100 career games. That's insane, especially for a guy who was the 30th pick of his class. Of course, then there's Ja Morant. Over the years, he's improved leaps and bounds, and there's no question he'll be an all-star this year. Hopefully, the voters will overlook the number of games he missed. If you look at all the guys drafted since 2019, he's the only guy who we know will become a superstar. Possibly even an all-time great if he continues this trajectory. The only other guy is Zion Williamson, who, we're not sure about how his injuries will hinder him in the long run, or his weight problems. As of this video, Morant is averaging an exceptional stat line for a third-year player, but most importantly, he showed a significant improvement in his shot selection and three-point shooting. When you think of young franchise players who have the it factor, Morant is in that conversation, along with Luka and Trey. The return of Jaren Jackson Jr. While Jaren has been slowly working his way back into form, he still heavily affects the dynamic of the offense just by being on the floor. Having a big man as versatile as he is, the Grizzlies really missed him when he was injured. His overall shooting, near the basket or at the three-point line, has not been consistent. But on the bright side, during the team's hot streak, he's been scoring more and looks much better compared to the start of the season, where he looked horrendous. Here's a comparison of his numbers across the season. In his first 20 games, he averaged 15 a game on very poor shooting splits. It got fans concerned, you know? A torn meniscus isn't as serious as a torn ACL or torn Achilles, but some players struggle to recover from it, especially big men. And Jackson already missed an exorbitant amount of games. Plus, with him recently signing a 4-year, $100 million extension, the expectations were high and fans want to see him blossom. Jackson was interviewed about his struggles back in November, and he was asked, is it hard for him to find his place on this roster? To which he responded, it's as hard as you want it to be. If you just go out there and play free, trust your teammates and everything that's going on, it's not hard. If you're tense all the time, you're not making the right read, it's going to be difficult. Jackson also admitted he's had difficulty adjusting to playing with Bane and Adams in the starting lineup, and found himself in awkward spots on the floor where he isn't comfortable being. His three-point shot and his finishing at the basket have been the two major weak points. He's hitting 62% at the rim compared to 71% in his sophomore year. Fortunately, the chemistry looks to be improving. In his next 20 games, he's back to averaging nearly 18 points a game. It'll take some time for him to get fully acquainted. Hopefully, he continues building on his career where he left off. The injury was a huge setback. Coach Taylor Jenkins. Jenkins is a very young coach. In fact, when he joined the Grizzlies, it was his first head coaching gig. I realized that these days, most teams prefer a young, new coach when developing a team of young players. They grow and learn together, and for the players, he's more relatable. So far, Jenkins has proven to be a fantastic hiring, recently winning Coach of the Month in December, his second ever Coach of the Month award. What makes him special, though, is his knack for experimenting, testing new lineups, and doing whatever he can to put his guys in the best position to succeed. But the funny thing is, that's exactly what he got criticized for early in the season. For example, his rotations were all kinda whack. He'd give Brandon Clark very inconsistent playing time, sometimes just benching him entirely for no reason. The same with Xavier Tillman. Sometimes they would just get random DNPs, and we don't know why. I guess it might be a matchup thing. We think it's for no reason, but maybe Jenkins is just a mastermind. According to NBA.com's lineup stats, the Grizzlies have played 380 different lineups throughout the season so far. For comparison, a team with a comparable record to them, the Utah Jazz, have only played 157 different lineups. In fact, Ja Morant is the only player on this team who plays over 30 minutes a game. That's unheard of for any playoff team. It just goes to show the team-oriented approach Jenkins emphasizes. A few months ago, some have said his unorthodox lineup decisions were nonsensical. Like, why are their best players only playing like 25 to 30 minutes a game? Shouldn't they play more? But it's working now, so can you blame him? This balanced offense and improved defense has catapulted them into contention faster than we ever imagined. Anyway, that's all folks. The Memphis Grizzlies are the biggest surprise this season, and another small market success story. It wasn't even that long ago when they blew it up, and now they're back in the mix already. Where do you see them heading this year? I'd say the second round of the playoffs. I think that's a reasonable prediction. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and of course, as always, I'll see you next time. Peace.